On this episode, it's the power of getting in amongst it in order to learn. Hey everyone, and welcome back to Ideanthro. Now today we are going to be talking about how you can go out and learn about water sensitive urban design by getting out and observing stuff, observing stormwater treatment systems, depending on exactly what aspect of this you're interested in. You can get out there and learn about it simply by observing it. And so I should actually pause myself there and say, I should correct that, because I said you can. And in my opinion, what I should be saying is you should get out there and learn about it by getting out in the field, getting amongst it, and learning by what you observe. There's two reasons why I want to talk about that today in this video. One of which is I think this is the best tool if you are either new to the industry or you've been in the industry for a while and just want to learn more about this. I think it is the best possible way to learn about what works and what doesn't. You have to get out and you have to see stuff on the ground. And tied to that, the second reason I want to talk about this is that it actually frustrates me how little people do that, and just how often people talk with extreme confidence in this space of water sensitive urban design, and then when you get down to it, realize that they essentially have never seen any of this stuff on the ground. Or they've seen it a bit, but certainly haven't gone out and looked at it in detail enough to speak with the confidence with which they are. And look, honestly, that frustrates me, because I think this space is so really nuanced that it's really easy to jump to a few conclusions. It's really simple to peddle common, I'll say misconception, I suppose conceptions is a word, common conceptions about what works and what doesn't. But when you actually get out and spend time in the field, you realize, or in my opinion, you realize that the truth is often different to the common, spoken conceptions. So I want to today use a little video clip that I filmed about 2 months ago in Melbourne to try and demonstrate the power of getting out and looking at something in the field. Now I'm going to default back to a video about looking at a bioretention system, but it doesn't have to be this. It could be anything water sensitive urban design related, but it's about getting out there and getting amongst it. And I'm not going to, in this video, demonstrate some truth like, oh, this plant grows better here. What I'm actually going to demonstrate is the complexity in this that you can only pick up by going out there in the field. So here, you can see on the screen, we have two videos here. I am going to show you, I think this one first. Is this the one that I want? This is not the one that I want. Sorry about that. That's the second one we're going to look at. This one here. I'm going to show you this just to give you a brief understanding of the system. So this is a stormwater harvesting bioretention system in a park in Melbourne. Water comes into the system through a surcharge in this, I'll make this full screen for you, through a surcharge pit that you can see there. And I'm going to play the video. The water theoretically spills out off the side from the pit into this kind of channel around the edge, and then there's a long distribution weir that that takes it through the system. So I'll hit play and you can see that. So it spills out, flows along this channel, and you can see it's a really long bioretention system. I'll pause it again before the video stops. And so theoretically, this system is meant to work by water flows all the way along that channel. The channel fills up, and then the water evenly spills into all these separate cells, because you can see this weir here. That means there's one cell at the front, and then there's another cell here, and there's another cell there, and at least one more, probably two more, I think, that are completely hydraulically separate from each other. So the water fills up in the channel and spills out evenly. So just to give you an idea of how this works, we're going to go to the other video though, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to walk down the length of this system with the video camera running. I'm going to demonstrate to you a bunch of stuff that we can observe from just that single walk past, and why there's so much more to be learnt there than either if you'd never, if you'd never visited in the first place, or B, if you just taken a photo or hadn't bothered to really get into it. So let's open up the video and see what happens. Actually, I'll preface this by saying we're going to talk about plants here, and we're broadly speaking talking about why some species aren't working and others are. So we start off, we're at the front of the system, first cell, and you can see here, sorry that this blacks out every time that I pause it, but yeah, that's what we get. You can see here that we have a bunch of juncus in this first cell, and they are struggling. They're not particularly happy. So we have a bunch of juncus here, not doing particularly well. So we might go, juncus, you know, they're a bit of a wetland, like primitive wetland plant. Maybe they want a fair bit of water, maybe they're not getting enough. That could be a problem. What else can we learn? Okay, we get to the second cell here, and we find some carex. And so we go, the carex is doing reasonably well. I wonder why that is. Well, it's probably not because they're not getting enough water, because carex also like living right kind of on the edge of creeks and waterways. So, you know, already within, 14 seconds of this video, we've come up with one hypothesis of what might be happening in this system, why the juncus might not be so happy. But then we've got to the second cell here and realized that the fact that the carex are doing okay almost certainly blows that hypothesis out of the water. So we keep going. The carex are doing okay. Juncus bad, carex okay. We come to the next cell here, and we've got some isolepsis, some Phacinia nodosa. They're doing reasonably well. Well, they like really, really sandy conditions. They can live right on the beach. I think I've done a video in the past about this. Them living right at Burleigh, on the edge of Burleigh Heads, right on the beach on the Gold Coast. So we go, okay, one wet plant that's not doing well, one relatively wet plant in the carex that is doing well, and one, you know, really sand-tolerant plant in the Phacinia that's doing relatively well. And then we get to this, you know, mass of Lomandra that are clearly very happy. We're like, okay, Lomandras live on the edges of creeks, but not right down at the water level. So they don't want to be completely saturated, but neither do they want to be completely dry. And nor do they normally just like living in straight sand. So more complexity arising here. We keep walking. Now, I forget, I think this is another stand of juncus here. It certainly looks like it. We have another stand of juncus not doing particularly well. Okay, look, that's reinforced our initial perceptions from the first stand of juncus that the juncus are unhappy. It's not just, for example, that the first cell is unhappy in this system. The juncus in either the first or I think this is now the third cell are unhappy. Okay, let's keep moving. So we keep wandering through here. We come to another stand of Lomandra. Well, that kind of confirms to us that the Lomandras, regardless of which cell they're in, are pretty happy. We come along and we get back here to some more Phacinia. Again, they're really happy. Okay, so we've got two cells of juncus that are unhappy. We have two cells of Lomandra that are happy and two cells with Phacinia that are happy. So it doesn't seem to be the cells themselves that are causing too much of the drama here. It's more to do with the plant species. We keep walking, and then we come, this is the final cell. We have some kangaroo grass come into shot. It's pretty drought tolerant. Then we have, don't know what that little stuff is. We have some more Phacinia. Maybe that wasn't the last. Ah, yeah, here we go. Some more Phacinia, pretty happy. Some Dianellas. Look, in my opinion, they never do super well in these systems. So it doesn't surprise me that they're not doing well. And then one last stand of juncus here. And so the point here isn't to prove what's up and what's not with this system. I'm not entirely sure why. We seem to have this fairly consistent pattern that the juncus isn't happy in here, but exactly why, I'm not so sure. And then of course you'd need to consider things like, let's just talk about harvesting, how and when is it being fed, and so on and so forth. But what I wanted to demonstrate is just the power of getting out there and observing. Because it would be really easy if you saw one photo, say of the inlet to this system, to just write it off as a failure, because frankly the juncus looks, you know, dead and terrible up the front. But you've really got to get in amongst it to realize the nuances. Because if you saw just a photo of the front end of this, you might go, oh, system's failing, and write this stuff off as, you know, as not working, or, you know, you might just write it off. But that would be an oversimplification. Whereas if you get out there and you get in amongst it, you can start to understand the complexity. And if you do it regularly enough, you'll eventually start to pick up patterns and start to see through that complexity. And so, look, I hope that's been useful for you. I hope I wasn't too narky at the beginning of this video, but for me, look, I want to get these 2 points across. One, if you want to learn more about this stuff, the best way to learn about it is to spend time out and about amongst this stuff. In fact, I'm going to do 2 more videos on this to try and demonstrate this point, I think. Okay, yep, there's going to be 2 more videos that follow up after this particular one. But the point now that I want to get across is this. If you want to learn about this sort of stuff, the best thing you can do is to find the opportunities to get out there regularly and to observe systems. Because it's through the regular observation that you start to find the patterns in things. Firstly, through the regular observation, it's getting out there, you can pick up the nuances, right? That we were able to simply with this little video here, which you can't do with photos and you can't do if you just don't have any information, right? So getting out amongst it is the best way to do it. Now, right, you can do it from video like this, but someone's got to film the video. So you might as well just go look at it. So that's the first reason. Where was I going with this? Oh, and if you do it regularly, then you start to pick up patterns that are emerging. So you might see one system that's always doing this, then you might see another system that's always doing the same thing, and then you can start to draw conclusions between the 2 of them. And of course, you have to be aware of cognitive biases, you have to be aware of jumping to inappropriate conclusions, and always keep an open mind, but you can start to learn. So that was the first take home I wanted to get through on this particular video. And the second one was, look, here's the thing. If you're walking around speaking about water sensitive urban design with confidence, but you are not making a regular, opportunity for yourself to get out there and go and look at this. Look, in my opinion, you need to be questioning about why you are speaking with confidence about this. Because as we've demonstrated here, there's a lot of nuances to this that I don't think you can learn about unless you get out there and spend the time. What do you think about that? I'm actually curious to see whether that's how people feel about that statement, because it bugs me a little bit, but so be it. Okay, so that was video 1 in this particular series. Keep an eye out for 2 and 3. Number 2 is going to be about how you can set up easy opportunities for yourself to go and look at systems regularly. How to set up easy opportunities for that. And video number 3 is going to be talking about, well, when you do start having these easy opportunities to go and look at systems like this, how do you then go and keep a record of that to make the most of that? Okay, sweet. That's it for now. Thanks for tuning into this episode of Ideanthro. If you like what it is that we're doing, or alternatively, if you're the sort of person who never goes and looks at water sensitive urban design stuff and talks about it regularly, and you want to send me hate mail, there's a few ways that you can find me. You can find us at www.ideanthro.com. You can find us at facebook.com/ideanthro, and we are also on Instagram and Facebook. Sweet. We look forward to hearing from you, either positive or abuse. It's all fine, and we'll see you next time. Have a good one.